Hi, so good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Vidya Kissoon, and I'm coordinator of the Caribbean IRN. Those of you who were here earlier would have heard Angelique's presentation about the theorizing homophobias in the collection, in the Caribbean collection. I'm Guyanese and I live in Guyana. I say that all the time in Trinidad because people are asking me where I'm from, how long I'm here. So yeah, I live in Guyana. So just quickly to talk a little bit about what the IRN is. It is a project, the International Resources Network. It's meant to be a network of academics, activists, scholars, artists around the world who are working on issues on sexualities. And it was a project started at the Center for Lesbian and Gay Studies out of the City University of New York. And it originally had a Ford-funded grant. So there are different regions: Asia, Africa, North America, Latin America and the Caribbean were joined, but no longer joined, and the Middle East. And the Caribbean IRN is currently organized with a board of Angelique, Rosamond, and Colin, who you've heard today, and I am the coordinator. Next slide, please. So how do we define Caribbean? I'm just using this old map and showing off a little bit because I use a program called Quantum GIS, Geographic Information Systems, to generate this Lavender map of the Caribbean. I use it in another project. So the definition that the Caribbean IRN uses extends from Bermuda, Suriname, Guyana, Belize, includes the Dutch, the French, and Spanish-speaking Caribbean, and includes the DOMs as well as the British Overseas Territories. Sorry, and this, these colorings I use. Blue is where the discriminatory laws existed. Black was where there was some discussion, legislation, quarrel going on to move things. Green is where there were no sodomy laws, and purple was where gay marriage existed as being the kind of the least possible homophobic place. Martinique, of course, joins that list recently. This next slide, and I just have a map here with the Eastern Caribbean. So this is how we look at what the Caribbean is, this very expansive space. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are some of the projects and activities we've been involved in? Through the Caribbean Studies Association, there have been a couple of workshops. Angelique mentioned those. That was where the idea of the Theorizing Homophobia collection started. And then there's a facilitation of the Caribbean Sexualities Working Group, very academic. Then we have the Digital Library of the Caribbean Collection, which is a set of archives. I'll just show you a little bit more. You have the Critical Sexuality Studies course, which is happening at IGDS right now, and which this activity is part of. And then, of course, it's just general sharing information through internet, media, about all the work going on in this thing called the Caribbean, and sharing ideas and trying to facilitate that sharing of ideas across people who are interested not only within the Caribbean, but also in the diaspora. Next slide. So this is where our archive is, and we use this archive space for several things. It hosts digital materials for content which wouldn't necessarily have an internet home, but which might be valuable. So there are things ranging from audio files, internet clippings, documents, reports, photographs, all sorts of things, bits of video, so that people have had this, which help to construct the kind of history which exists of the work in the Caribbean. And that's the address, dloc.com/ICIRN. Next slide, please. One of our collections is the collection of the archives of the Gay Freedom Movement of Jamaica, which was active in Jamaica between in the 1970s up to 1984. Larry Chang was the coordinator of that movement, and then he left for the US and gained asylum. But Larry had done a lot of work, and it's interesting, watching those boxes of paper in the days before computers, in the days before internet and so on. Everything was typed, cyclo-styled. And if you look at this, this is the constitution of the Gay Freedom Movement, which was designed around the 86. So we have some of the papers that were left back in the J Flag office on this archive to give an idea of the kind of work that was going on in Jamaica at the time. Next slide. Just to mention, we're also trying to build up collections for the Rainbow Alliance of the Bahamas and possibly some other movements. And again, if you have anything that you think should go into this collection, old, whatever it is, images, video, audio meaning oral histories with people who you think, it should be heard, things that should be heard, then add them. We also use our blog. This is part of our information sharing. Try to do like a monthly update of things that have been happening around the Caribbean and share it around to interested people through Facebook and so. And I don't know if you're, as you said, Martinique, going to explain to people that we just had the first gay marriage in Martinique. So it's another gay wedding in the Caribbean. A lot of people didn't know that. I guess many of us don't think of Martinique as Caribbean too, which is probably another thing. And then there's the SASA 10-year video. All of that we're sharing. Next slide, please. As an example of some of the things that we share which don't have a home, this here is an extract. This came to us. Gayutra Bahadur, she's doing a book called Kuli Woman, based on her story. She's Guyanese origins. And in doing her research, she came across this bit of information in the archives in England, and she donated this. It's a story of Nabibuksha Mohangu on the Mersey coming from India to Guyana, where the Sadar, one of the overseers, reported that they were engaged in sodomy. And one of them had his penis blistered, and the other one was made to have his hands chained. So what she did is she found the captain's diary, the doctor's diary, which had the notes of that incident and the punishment meted out. So she donated those images. And again, so this is the kind of thing we host on the IR, which starts to tell the story of what's happening. Gayutra also found a certificate which we hope to trace of a woman called Rukmini, but the ship's doctor had hermaphrodite on her immigration certificate. So these are the kinds of, these are the kinds of things that we tease out and we put online so as to help to create this history of what's happening, and it's online history. Next slide, please. Right, so this is how we can be contacted, caribbeanirn@gmail.com. We have a Facebook group, if you look for Caribbean IRN. And you can join there, and then there's the general IRN website, which is in a transition at the moment and which is being built. So thank you very much. Most of you are still awake. That's all right. Yeah.